Hey everybody, HonestlySarcastc here. Long time no see. So I played in the Entourage gaming event yesterday. It was in the finals, uh, and the two lists were kind of something you wouldn't normally expect. I had been working on Lando, Anakin a while back. A couple of the other guys, or not the teammates, but like Gandork and Ted, had ended up playing it. Did pretty well at times. I think some other people probably ended up building their own variations and played it. And, it's so. But I had the Discord members ask me to go and record these games, so they could kind of get a better idea of how it operates. So I ended up going through that. But yeah, so we're in the finals here, and I got a special request to do commentary over the game. Um, and they're comping my entry fee to the next week. So thank you kindly for that. But in the process, we're gonna get this done. So what you're gonna see today, we're gonna Anakin Lando. I'm gonna be talking about the stuff, and I'll probably be pretty harsh overall to both me and my opponent. Um, so this is nothing on a per person basis, I guess. But like I'm harsh on myself, I'm harsh on everybody. So, hopefully you guys can see that it, kind of remains the same. And look, it's like I'm a pineapple. You probably noticed that like a minute ago, and I should have addressed it immediately. But yeah. So let's switch it straight over to the video, and we'll go from there. So I'm actually going to move my webcam. Whoop, wrong one. That's not moving it either. Why won't it move it? There we go. We'll go over here. Just in case, facial expressions or whatever. Hopefully I'm not in the way of anything super important. So, rough idea of what the overall game plan is. We roll out Lando. We're looking to get like the 4 for 2, get the 4 resources, and kind of make some magic happen. Anakin's gonna harass the opponent a bit, and we're gonna try to push a guy down. If we can get close enough to knock a guy down, round 2, start of round 3, we flip into Vader, and we'll be in an okay place. The deck's pretty linear as far as what it attempts to do. But as you can see, or barely see, our opponent here is actually playing Tarful, Chewbacca, and Valorous Tribe. So yes, this is the finals of a 4-week event. We were both 3-0. Yeah, it's like, wait, what? What meta is this shit? But all right, so let's start off. So this is my pre-mulligan hand. We have 2 risky moves: a hidden motive, a Neiman mastery, and an escape craft. Lando makes escape craft cost 1. That's pretty good for 1. So we'll see what I end up doing here. I'm pretty sure I would just get rid of the two riskies because I'm not going to spend that to mitigate, but hold the hidden motive and the Neiman for kind of backup. If I hit a 4 for 2 off Lando, I could Neiman. I could take that, go to 4, Neiman the other one, and then do it again. Or even go to like a base 2, but attacking into them is not going to be amazing. The Valorous Tribe literally counters like Anakin's ability. So it's very dangerous. We roll out. I get an 8 on 2 dice. He gets 4. So I do want to check to see if I have the faster play speed. I think I opened this in the wrong place. So I don't think I get the faster play speed, but we'll see what happens. The game's not too long. So I take his battlefield to get shields on Anakin because I feel like I'm going to need them. I would only have 2 health, and if I gave him 2 shields, he would already be looking at 27 health. So, 1-1, we don't actually care about any of that. Oh, so this is where I was getting some weird ass Java error. I could probably mute that. We're gonna mute the desktop audio, but yeah, I was getting some crazy ass Java error. So just needed a second to like get through it. It just like kept popping up. It was silly. So we'll be here for a second. Let's fast forward a little bit. Okay. We roll out Lando. We hit money. Like, all right, you could totally hit better. Die side wise, Lando, where it's the 4 for 2 followed by like the 2 range and the resource. Then disrupt, and then obviously 2 indirect and blank after. So like all the sides are realistically quite good. I take a resource here. So the rationale behind the 1 resource and leave the other is that I have the escape craft because I can escape craft for 1. If I hit either of the focuses, I can flip to the 4 for 2 and then be at 4 resources, and then consider just playing the Chewbacca's blaster. If escape craft hits the 1 resource, whatever, I could just take it and still be at 4. If it hits the 2 resource, then we can go absolute bananas and just go further. So we find the Darksaber here, and it makes this play all that much more reasonable. Because if I can get the focus or whatever, I'd be fine. I could technically grab the resource and just play the Darksaber, but realistically, like, greeting it kind of usually makes more sense. Alright, so anyone wondering, we're going to pause here for a second. Anyone wondering, the escape craft, the reason I got to roll it out is because Lando gives it ambush. So, he plays a Chewbacca's blaster, it comes out on discard, and then I'm thinking, like, alright, I'm gonna grab resource. But he wrote thinking, and I was like, what's he thinking about? And I'm like, so I tell him that's not how that works, and he's like, what? So I'm like, the entire time I'm like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? Do you think he's like FN? So he tells me no one plays Chewy, and I was just like, people play Chewbacca Blaster all the time. Like, what the fuck's he talking about? So I was explaining to him that, like, there wasn't like a missed action there, because I was thinking that he Chewbacca Blastered, it came out, and he thought I took an extra action, so then he resolved it. So then so we go over this for a bit. So I go to take the resource, and then he's like explaining the stuff. So then I'm explaining because I want people to be aware of what's going on. So we actually go for a bit, and apparently there's a fucking piece of text on the Chewbacca's blaster that I never read in my entire life of playing Chewbacca's blaster, and it's that when you play it on Chewy, you can actually resolve it when you do that damage. So we'll put this on the screen real quick. After you play this upgrade, you may deal 1 damage to attached character to roll this die into your pool. Then if that character is Chewbacca, you may resolve this die. I don't know why it does that. It fucking hates me. Alright, so it's like, oh shit. Yeah, never read that shit in my life. But alright, so the discard goes through. He hits my Darksaber. And then the guy comes in, bruh. But yeah, no, I had no idea that if it was on Chewbacca, you could resolve it. I don't know how, but I guess because Chewbacca was never played, that was never going to come up in my mind. So he resolves the 1 there into the Anakin, and this is where it gets a little funky, right? So like I go back to check to whatever stuff. So like that's messing with me a little bit. So he does the 1, and it's like, wait a second, why would he resolve the 1, right? Like, the mod 2 on the Chewbaccas is super important. And at that point, I should be considering the fact that he might just be thinking about whether I have, like, easy picking or not. Which I do have in hand. So, part of the reason I went slow and resolved the shield was because I was trying to Neiman his Chewbacca blaster. Realistically, I probably could have got away with a pass. So he had hit the stupid 4, and then I come in hot here, and I blank it out, and then he re-rolls and hits the 4 again. So I hit him, right? Now he gets the disrupt, and it's like, well, at the time I thought, like, if he resolves the 4 and resolves the 1, I'll take 5. I'd be at 3 damage total on my Anakin. Before I activate, I'd be at 4 after. It'd be pretty bad. The 2-for-1, in theory, I know he can't resolve it. So, like, I could have considered having him burn that die. Um, in the process, he goes for a reroll and he freaking hits the 4-for-1 again, and it's like kind of bananas there because the available die sides were not amazing. So we get 2-1 shield. He takes a card from our hand, hits our Chewbacca Blaster, which is really unfortunate. I 100% could have considered just putting the Chewbacca's Blaster on the activated Lando. Instead of trying to do this Neiman stuff. But the 4-for-1 was a threat, and thinking back now, I probably should have just taken that to the face, and then had the Chewbacca on Lando. But we get the Theed here. We have a resource left over. We're still like content, right? Like he kind of needs to leave his base sides available to pair up with the other ones. There's a discard that's both on Chewbacca's and on or Chewbacca and his blaster. So we come in here with the Lando. We have the Anakin saber we can overwrite with. The escape craft's dead, and we have some decent removal. So realistically, we should have an okay time. This Chewbacca blaster of his is killing me at this point. All right, so we smash out the 3. And I leave the risky move in place so that we don't miss it for whatever the next card he plays is. But I can play the Anakin Saber. I could still have the Pacify and the Easy picking up. Something to keep in mind here is, like, I could consider trying to go for the Tarful. And by potentially switching targets, it makes life much harder for him. The dilemma is if I push the 2 into Tarful and he Valor Stripes 2 to go to 6 and then heals 1, that's an issue. So, like, I'd like to just leave that in the pool so Anakin can roll out and get a better idea of what's going on. So we lose our easy picking, which is not pretty, but like Chewbacca's die is just that sketchy. We feed away the Lando immediately. The consideration is that I probably don't want the 4-for-1, and I'd like to have access to both the Neiman die and the Anakin die. Because then it's like, okay, the specials would let me fix Anakin Saber as well as Anakin's die. This is where I blow myself out a little bit. So we do this. We give Tarful a shield, and we get 2. So now I can't go after Tarful anymore. And he flips to both of them on money. So, like, now I'm in a predicament because I have to think, like, all right, what can he be trying to go for 4? If I had just straight up pacified the 2 focus, I could have taken potentially just 2 damage there, and like been okay with this. The resource is much more concerning than the damage. So now that there's 3 shields over there, we're in like a pretty big world of hurt as far as like who we have to focus on. And the Chewbacca has 3 health more than the Tarful. So we brick pretty hard here with the 2 blanks, and we also have the 2 shields, meaning like an easy pick would mess us up pretty badly. But all you can do sometimes is hope, right? And he has the easy pick, so it's like, okay, awesome. Thanks, guys. Well, We pitched a reroll. I hold the special, which really only focuses Anakin's die. And I think that was a huge mistake. I should have just considered re-rolling it. The rationale being that any of the sides I could have hit probably would have been the same or better than the Neiman special. So like the 2 damage would have been better because that's the most I could like focus to. The shield would be a break if I bricked on both of the other dice. But like in this situation, I have a focus and then pretty much a focus only for Anakin's die, and it's just like, all right, well I gained nothing here. I end up getting 2 out of this, and it's just like it's awful and real bad. Okay, so he did have 7 damage on him. So we're gonna come into a situation where there's some sneaky options. He Chewbacca's out. He whiffs. Now, an easy picking would have been lovely here, but life. So I have a couple options. I could like go get some shields right away. I could just activate Anakin first. But because I have a Millennium Falcon hand, I'm thinking, well, if I can get one more resource, or the 2 resource, then there's the potential for the action sheet to snipe kill Chewbacca. And I'll be blatantly honest, I miscounted how much health Chewbacca has because I forgot Tarful's ability. So he bricks there trying to hit one of the base sides. He gets the base side in this time. We're not largely concerned about it, but we do have like an out. In my mind, I thought the 4 for 1 was an auto kill. So Lando PAs it, plays it for 3. I can activate it. It has the ambush also. So the Anakin's going to come in, deal 2, and it's like, alright, if I hit the 4 for 1, I'll kill Chewbacca, which is completely wrong. Our dice hate us immensely. So we essentially whiff that super hard. So I push the 3 in. He only takes 2 though. And like this part messes me up pretty bad in this for a second. And I'm like, wait a second. Because he should have went from 7 to 9 off the Anakin and then 3 to 12. Then he removes 2 to go to 10 and then heals 1 to 9. So like I take a reroll here. Not 100% sure where I take the reroll. I think I was aiming for damage again. But I don't have an answer for his disrupt. So like the more immediate thing would have been immediately overwrite Neiman to the Jedi lightsaber to get shields. Um, so there's a mild pause here because of that health thing. And like the thing is like I tend to kind of reassess over and over what I'm looking at. But Valor's tribe does mess with math frequently. So I'm like, I'm not sure if that kind of went properly. I wrote 4 from activation. I meant 2 from activation. Yeah. So like we go and readjust this. Okay. Um. So this thing's messes. This is messing with stuff a bit. I would never blame this on him. Like I went for a kill here, but I still didn't have a kill. So I do this going for the 4, trying to represent a kill, which I don't have still. Um. Because I keep not thinking about Tarful's ability. So I know that he had 6 there because the Chewbacca pump was live. So he plays Wookiee Rage to pump the Tarful. And my Anakin dies. I die having a Jedi Saber in hand that can get me 2 shields, as well as the 2 shield side there available to grab it. So if I know that he has the 14th health, I 100% grab shields there. And like maybe he goes for reroll again. He actually has 2 cards left in hand. But I 100% should have grabbed shields. We reroll here trying to get lethal because at this point I know that I need a 3 and a 2. So if I can hit the 30% if I find one of those with Falcon, and then the 33 on the escape craft, I could potentially go for a kill. That entire rollout percentage is like less than 10% though. But yeah, so now we're playing against field medics and shit, and it's like, oh, awesome. I jammed the 2 first, I think, because I'm concerned with Lothcat. But switching targets to Tarful there would have also been a consideration, because I have to deal 9 to Chewy. If I did do the 2 indirect first and then put 2 more, I only have to do 5 to kill Tarful, and Chewy will lose a health in accordance with it. I have to see if I didn't take the disrupt there. 1 second. So I also didn't pay for that disrupt. Unless he claimed first. 1 second. Okay, no, he claimed. He left the disrupt there. Okay. Sorry about that. I was just trying to make sure that if I cheated, I called it out on myself. All right, so we have 12 health. There's a long road ahead of us, but it's not the worst position ever, just because the abilities are bad. So like I forgot to attach the escape craft last round, which is another atrocious thing. I think I'm pretty sure I'm on tilt already at this point. But like I know I have to like go for kills. Wait. I almost activate, and then I realized that like I need this additional die and the shield. I need anything I can get here. So we got triple lightsaber Lando in his Falcon versus stupid ass Wookiees. These rerolls are like pretty brutal, but like the thing that's kind of funny here is because he keeps doing this, he's completely dodging my easy pickings. And like that's 5 damage there. I decide I'll take the 5. I want to show damage, and this will get me around stuff like Lothcat. Alright, so we do hit a 2 ranged, and it's like, oh, okay. So I take the 5 there. So yeah, this game's been kind of messy as far as like us missing things. But it's okay, it's casual. Alright, so we have a 4 indirect here, and then we have another 5 direct. This is like a good spot because I can put this 4 Um, and he can't take 3 of it with Tarful. So if he takes 2 and 2, then it puts me in a closer position to be able to go after Chewbacca. So he does the 2 and 2. He goes into Chewbacca. I take 4 there because the Tarful's pumped. And like that was a huge mess up. Because by me doing that there, I took an extra 1. But we hit Tarful to threaten the kill. Chewbacca pairing up is kind of hard. Well, he field medics there, so now we don't have to worry about that. So I reroll trying to find any sort of damage here. We get an additional 1. So I now have 4. And realistically, the way my removal is, I kind of don't want to give it up. There is an important part here that's pretty bad for me, though. So now we're looking at 6 health on Chewbacca and 7 on Tarful. I'm going to push 4 into Chewbacca here because I figure I can kill him with the 2. Crate comes out. Crate finds shields. So I pass here like an idiot. I just should just detach my escape craft and roll it in because then I'm 33 to have the lethal to kill off Chewbacca. So I claim battlefield to activate and go because I can't reroll, right? Problem is that if I hit that escape craft and kill the Chewbacca, like I do have a chance at that point. I don't, and now things are just ugly. So it's pretty simple. We just have to try to push in here. The escape craft gets that blank, so if we had treated that as our roll, then it was irrelevant. But we do have lethal showing. But he has the counter lethal from Valor, so it's not like we win that anyways. But if he heals it for the 3, then we can push the other 3 in. And then we're back to the lethal point. But we have a Pacify, an Anakin's Pod Racer, and a bunch of dead cards. Simple decision here. We push the... Oh my god. Why do I... Oh, I deal the 3 to Tarful because I don't think I could get out. So, the thinking here is that if he activates Tarful first, I can grab shields and delay stuff. If he activates Chewbacca, I could, like, kill Tarful. But the run to safety was going to ruin my shit anyways. So we'll ditch and reroll trying to find lethal. I pretty much have to find it off of the Falcon. Hold on a second. Do I reroll my 2? What? Holy shit, I'm on tilt, bro. Dude, I don't know why that 2 got rerolled. Holy shit, I'm a moron. Damn. That was bad. Real bad. Wow. Yeah, so there was a ton of things wrong here. I can't believe I rerolled a base 2. Holy shit. But yeah, we're pretty much gonna die here. We have a pacify to, like, stall a little maybe, but it's bad. We get easy picked and that's it. Yeah. We dump and go from hand. And once again, I still think not a single bit of my escape craft. Oh, look, I remember it. Herp dirt. And, yep. And we did. So that, folks. So, everyone makes mistakes. And I'm a goddamn jabroni. But yeah, yeah, if I remember Chewbacca has a health, a lot of my plays change there. Don't know how different the game would quote unquote be or anything like that. The deck also needs some adjustments, but I've been content with it so far. Like, it's really hard to be unhappy when your die values can just do banana things. All right, so let's go back to the big webcam. All right, so yeah, that was that. I'd have to probably re-examine it to see how many things the opponent could improve on. He definitely had some really odd reroll moments, but he was, I was pretty sure he was just trying to play around easy picking. The dilemma is, like, there's not a lot of great sides for Chewbacca. The Chewbacca Blaster obviously has great sides, but it would normally make sense to just put Tarful in. Even if he gets picked on some base ones, you're like, whatever, like, me playing easy pick would kind of set myself back. And he has to kind of hit bananas in order to bypass my easy pickings each time. Did it happen? Yes, but it's kind of one of those weird things. But yeah, like, because the deck or Lando Anakin's, like, so split between trying to, like, generate resources and damage, it's a really weird spot sometimes. I think Neiman Mastery could just kind of be replaced for something that's potentially better. It just does some crazy snowball things round one if you have the 4 for 2, or, like, I don't know, if you reap into the +2 and then you Neiman and then you flip and then you grab more 2 and then you, like, play a Darksaber, it becomes completely ridiculous. The odds of that stuff happening is much lower, though, than kind of you expect. So I'll probably have to make some pretty heavy adjustments to just do stuff from there. But there was a lot of the play on my side could be way better. Not overriding into the Jedi lightsaber was a huge mistake. And then, just not knowing the damage that I needed was pretty big. Missing the escape craft when we could have potentially got lethal to right there on Chewbacca that round. Huge. Like, it's only 33% to hit that lethal, but, like, we were in a real bad spot. He's running a bunch of heal cards, so it was important to get that kill. If we get that kill, then like there's a shot at coming back, because then it's two Tarful die, the A300 and a crate versus our stack of stuff. So anytime we would start getting shields there would have just been largely relevant. But I don't know. Thanks for watching. This is Pineapple Head reporting out. You guys have a good one. Deuces.